Joney with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, here in the Weather Center, we're not tracking any pie in the sky, but quite a bit of snow.
Yeah, absolutely a good day to eat some pie inside. Maybe a nice hot cup of coffee, and then that storm arrives starting at noon today. In fact, that's when our blizzard warning goes into effect. Live Pinpoint Doppler 12 showing some patches of snow out there. Most of it is light. You can see a band from Newport into Little Compton and New Bedford, where we have picked up a dusting. In fact, many spots have picked up a dusting this morning. That will be pretty much it as we go throughout the noon hour. Perhaps a few isolated places may get an inch before then, but for the most part, the storm holds off until the afternoon hours. Another little patch of snow right around the junction of 295 and 95 out towards Attleboro, and that will continue to push off to the north. Earlier this morning, Bryan and Middletown was picking up some light snow, and this is a call to our weather spotters. We do want to hear from you, especially tonight, where you will be key in helping us track all of that snow. All right, blizzard warning starts at noon today, as I just mentioned. It goes all the way until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, so this will be a very long event. We'll see heavy snow and wind likely. Gusts to 45 miles an hour are possible, and we'll see whiteout conditions with snowfall rates of 1, 2, maybe 3 inches an hour. So definitely not a good time to be on the roads as we go throughout the overnight hours. All right, our storm track is key to this whole thing. It basically determines how much snow we're going to get. Right now, most of our projections put the center of low pressure, basically the center of the storm, just offshore from Nantucket. That would put us on the colder side of the storm, the snowy side of the storm. However, there is a warm and rainy side to the storm, and it looks like it will at least make it to the Cape, perhaps into eastern Massachusetts, and even the southeastern shore of Rhode Island, places like Newport and Little Compton, which could briefly change over to some rain, and that may have a big effect on reducing our snowfall accumulations just a little bit in that region. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Over Providence right now, we have the gray skies, a few flurries here and there, but overall, it's a decent morning. 27 is your temperature. Winds are out of the north at 12 miles an hour. Other temperatures, upper 20s in Taunton, 28 degrees here, 30 in New Bedford. We are 29 in Newport and 29 in Westerly. So you can see most of our temperatures below freezing this morning, and some of those side roads could be slick. Most of our main roads are in pretty good shape. The DOT has been all over this, and a lot of those main roads already treated. All right, as we take a wider view, you can see this wall of snow sliding just to the east of the D.C. area. In fact, D.C. will get some snow from this. Notice how that rainy side I mentioned is getting close to us, but it will push off to the east. So again, we stay mostly snow with the storm. Now, a wider view shows just how large the storm is. The center of the energy is actually still offshore from North Carolina and Virginia, so it is yet to pass through our area. It will make a run just to the east of us as we go into the overnight hours, and that energy will really crank up those winds and that snow. Let's go hour by hour, kind of track what's going to happen in terms of timing. 8 o'clock in the morning, again, some of those light snow showers possible off and on. That's the same situation through the noon hour. And then afternoon, especially the early evening, that's where the snow really starts to pick up, represented by the darker shades of blue. Into the overnight hours, this is the thick of the storm, and notice how the blue gets even thicker. Now, at midnight, notice how some green starts to push west of Providence. This particular computer wants to mix over to some rain in Providence. I don't completely buy this scenario. I think most of the mixing to rain will occur from New Bedford into perhaps Newport, Little Compton, and out towards the Cape Cod Canal. I mean, we may mix over briefly in Providence, but I think in Providence and points due west, it's an all-snow event. But stay tuned. Any little change in track could really have a big effect on those accumulations. And then on Monday morning, we're still snowing with some rain out there in eastern Mass. For this afternoon, breezy with some light to moderate snow. 3 o'clock, same story, 32 degrees. And between 3 and 5, that's where the snow does start to pick up. Several inches may be on the ground by that point. Overnight, this is the thick of the storm with whiteout conditions possible. Not a good time to be on the roads at all. Temperatures in the upper 20s. And again, snowfall rates possible of 2 to 3 inches an hour. And then as we take a look at our grand total accumulations, keep in mind this is what's going to be on the ground by Monday afternoon. So during the early part of Monday, it will still be snowing and adding to these totals. I have 15 to 20 inches for areas north and west of Providence, 10 to 15 inches for the Providence metro area, including the East, West Bay, Attleboro down through Narragansett and Newport, 6 to 10 inches for portions of eastern Massachusetts down through New Bedford into Little Compton and Newport. I have slightly lowered these accumulations because of that rain mixing issue. And then out towards the Cape, 1 to 6 inches. I realize that's a big range, But once you get east of the Cape Cod Canal, I don't think we'll see much in the way of accumulation at all because of the rain. All right, 7-day futurecast shows wind, snow, a little bit of rain overnight into Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, we start to shut off most of the heavy snow, but blowing and drifting snow could still be an issue. On Tuesday, still chilly, mostly sunny skies. And then Wednesday and Thursday, mid to upper 30s. A chance of some snow showers moves in New Year's Eve into New Year's. But so much to talk about right now. We'll focus on the current storm. For an updated futurecast, you can always watch Cox Digital Cable Channel 125. You can also log on to our website. You can send us weather pictures at weather@wpri.com. That's the email address. We'd like to see all those pictures. Just make sure that you're safe when you take those pictures.
Yeah, the flakes are flying. We'd love to see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Yep. Appreciate it. Covering New England this morning.